Thank you for joining us at Behind the Scenes with the Hanover Theater. This is Lisa Condit, and I am here now with Nel Lazour, our Director of Development, and Craig Blais, President and CEO of WBDC. Nel, you and I, we've been working together for over 5 years now. We were both part of the opening team, and I remember my first day at the Hanover Theater. Do you remember who you met?
Yes, I do. We were the founding team, right? It was just the three of us, Megan, you, and me.
And Troy.
Oh, that's right, Troy. Yeah,
Our
Troy
fearless leader.
Right, Troy was there for a while. Yes, I do. And I was brought in really as a consultant to wrap up the capital campaign, which was the beautiful restoration of our building, and then stayed on from there as Director of Development. So it was very exciting times.
Absolutely. And Craig, you've been involved with the Hanover Theater since the very beginning, too. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. My first involvement was Ed Medaus and Paul DeMoga showed up at my office and said they had this great idea that they were acquiring or had already acquired the property on Southbridge Street, and they needed $38,000. And they were wondering if the WBDC could provide them with a loan. They offered to give me a second mortgage, which I declined. But we ended up doing that first. We thought it was going to be a grant, but it turned out that every penny of it was paid back. And that was my first involvement with the theater.
That's great. $38,000, is that what you said?
$38,000. It was to pay the broker commission on the donation of the theater by the Redstone family to the nonprofit, and someone had to pay the commission. So that's how sort of it got kicked off.
Now, Nel, you're our Director of Development. How would you feel if you just had to raise $38,000 and we're all set? The Hanover Theater has all the money they need.
Well, it's a breeze now. It's actually it's a lot easier now because the theater has just brought so much to our community that I think the support is there, and people are looking to help out and be involved, and our membership is growing every day. So we're doing quite well.
And that's a really nice thing, what we're able to give back to the community too. And you're lucky in your role because you get to really work on some of those events, especially our Access Hanover Lyceum Series events. And really, that was your brainchild. Do you want to tell people what you were thinking?
Yeah, sure. We wanted to give back to our members, and so it was an extra benefit. We do a lot for our members in different ways with giving them discounts to ticket for any purchase of tickets. We give them early access to tickets. But this was a little extra. It was an opportunity to have them sort of learn a little bit more about the performing arts, about the Hanover Theater. So this year, it's in its third year. It's called the Access Hanover Lyceum Series. And we have 6 events where we talk about things that are happening in the community related to the Hanover Theater, and then a particular subject related to the performing arts. So it's been great. It's free to members and their guests, so we've had lots of members take advantage of that.
And newsflash, the next one coming up, Building the New Worcester, it's free for everybody because we really want to get the message out there about what's going on. And Craig, that's one of the reasons we're so glad that you could join us today, because you will be one of the presenters at this Access Hanover Lyceum Series event coming up. Want to tell us a little bit about?
Sure. Well, congratulations to all of you for thinking about this type of an event. These events are so important to inform the public, and what a great venue to host it. As most people know, and as you know, we are in the middle of a major master plan for the theater district, the WBDC being the original developer of the theater with Ed and Paul. We made a substantial investment, both in time and in financial resources, and this is sort of the next step, that we really need to plan around the theater properly as it continues to grow, as City Square starts to come online. There needs to be a comprehensive plan that involves that immediate area, and so we're glad it is going to be the focus of the WBDC for the next 7 to 10 years. We are going to be down in that area, similar to what we did down at Gateway Park with WPI. Our focus now is going to be on the downtown and specifically around the theater. So we are in the process of putting that master plan together. We will have bits and pieces of that we will share on that evening, hopefully a couple of announcements as well, as it relates to some exciting news of what's going on down in the particular area. We now are the owners of the Telegram and Gazette, Telegram Gazette facilities, which a lot of people don't realize are 5 buildings that are knit together between Franklin and Federal Street, and the parking areas that surround the theater. So we're leading with private investment. We've put a stake in the ground, and we're going to be down there for a while, and some exciting discussion should take place at this series and at this event on the 28th.
I am so thrilled that you are doing what you're doing, because I have noticed such a huge improvement. Now, haven't you, in the last 5 years from when we first started working at the theater before it opened, just the park outside of the theater, the sidewalks, we feel great, we feel safe, there are places to go, the downtown common area is really fabulous. But there are some other things that are a little bit different. You know, obviously a lot of people are affected by what goes on in a neighborhood, and now you've done a really good job with this event because you've drawn other people into the conversation. So when you come to this event on Wednesday night, it's not just Craig telling everybody about the master plan for Worcester and WBDC's involvement in that development. We also have some other representatives who are going to be there. Do you want to tell us a little bit about them?
Sure. So a lot of people have a stake in seeing the downtown redeveloped, and the renaissance of the city is something we're seeing gradually every year. The theater has been a little bit of a catalyst, we say, to
a lot
catalyst. We don't like to brag too much, but
yes, we do.
I think it was such a positive thing for the city, and it really is a success story. So it gives everyone motivation and enthusiasm for and momentum for other things taking place. I know that with City Square, that project probably would not have gotten off the ground again had it not been for the Hanover Theater. And the Theater District is an obvious, we need to create that destination point around the theater. So we do have other groups, though. For instance, Preservation Worcester will be there. Deb Packard will be talking about the importance of historic preservation and really the heritage of our city in the redevelopment process.
And I think she's going to give some examples of what other cities have undergone, some historic revitalization and restoration, and the impact that that has had. So there's some solid research and findings behind this effort.
Right. And we know that with any downtown, what's special about it is its history and its heritage. And if we are mindful of that in whatever we do, it's critically important. So we have Deb talking about that. We have Jim McCaig with the Downtown Neighborhood Alliance, which is this big umbrella group of people coming together on a monthly basis to talk about very fundamental, like safety issues and cleanliness of the streets and beautification and all those other issues that are, as you know, very important to a downtown.
Absolutely. And I was lucky enough to get a sneak peek of the presentation earlier in the week. And I have to say, one of the things that I'm very excited about is how you're going to be using the different alleys for fairs and festivals. Craig, do you want to just talk a little bit about that and the vibe it creates?
Sure. As part of the master planning process, we met with all of the property owners and stakeholders in the area, and connections, as Nell mentioned, to the downtown, and sort of celebrating our heritage and the preservation of these buildings. There needs to be a programming component to this. This is really about people and density. It's not just about bricks and mortar. So it's important that there are incredible opportunities that other cities have capitalized on as it relates to alleys, whether it be pop-up restaurants or displays of artist-type displays in these alleys. But they have to be clean, they have to be safe, they have to be well-lit. And that's sort of our role, that we see ourselves as sort of the catalyst to come in, bring in the necessary resources that a typical for-profit developer is not going to do in terms of making those types of connections in public spaces, being willing to sort of step up, whether that be creation of a business improvement district, to sort of copy what the Hanover Theater has done, duplicate that throughout the district. You adopted that park. That was a fantastic move, given that the parking was across the street. Your attendees have to walk through that park every day, every event to come into the theater. That park needs to be have a bold statement, and you've done a fantastic job with cleaning that up, making people feel safe and secure. We want to continue that throughout the 35-acre district that surrounds the theater, and those are the types of things we're going to start to showcase and highlight as part of the overall plan.
Oh, I just can't wait. You know, I just want people to experience the new Worcester with the Hanover Theater as the touchstone for coming, going to restaurants, perhaps staying overnight, visiting galleries. But you're building the new Worcester, so thank you. You know, this is our week of gratitude. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Happy holidays. So again, thank you, Nell. I know you do a lot of thanks in your job as well. So thank you to all of our supporters. And we're really looking forward to building the new Worcester coming up.
28th, Wednesday the 28th at 5:30, and it's open to the public.
Open to the public, and how long should people plan to stay?
It'll be about an hour and a half, and for my sake, I want you to come loaded with questions.
Yes, this is your time to pepper Craig, in a friendly way, of course. So thank